The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is a masterpiece in storytelling. It's a game that doesn't shy away from exploring the deepest, most raw emotions: loss, betrayal, regret, and love. Among the hundreds of quests in The Witcher 3, there are those that stand out not because they're grand or action-packed, but because they really play with your emotions. They make you feel guilt and empathy for someone who maybe is actually a genuinely terrible person, but that's just how this game makes you feel. It might make you outright hate a character in a fictional universe for something they've done, or it just might make you downright sad. Today we're going to be exploring some of the most heartbreaking quests in The Witcher 3. If you are a fan of this kind of content and would like to see more, please be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. We'll be diving deep into the emotional core of this extraordinary game, but be warned, there are obvious spoilers ahead for a 9-year-old game, and these stories may leave you as haunted as they left Geralt. But without any further ado, let's get into the list. So it wouldn't be right to talk about emotional quests without talking about family matters, including the Bloody Baron. It is not just one of the best quests in The Witcher 3, but is one of the most unforgettable narratives in gaming history. On the surface, it's, just a simple mission. Geralt helps out the Bloody Baron locate his missing wife Anna and his daughter Tamara. But as the layers unfold, the story does become more of a gut-wrenching tale, a tale of domestic abuse, regret, and broken family bonds. The Baron's flaws in particular make him a very deep, complex character. He's a man tormented by his own actions, genuinely wanting to atone for the pain he's caused, but unable to escape his violent past. Anna's fate is a tragedy all on its own. The tragedy deepens when Anna's fate is actually revealed, however, cursed and enslaved by the crones of Crookback Bog, who in themselves are just a despicable trio of characters. Depending on the choices that you make, Anna's story can end in irreversible transformation or death, leaving the Baron crushed under the weight of his failures either way. Even Tamara, who survives, is forever scarred by the trauma of her upbringing, choosing to sever her ties with her father permanently. No matter how you actually approach this quest, it's impossible to walk away unscathed. The emotional weight of watching a broken family crumble further, despite Geralt's best efforts, is one of the game's most powerful moments, and is truly a shock very early in the game. So the next quest on my list is the Whispering Hillock. This quest is intertwined with family matters and is another morally grey and emotionally charged storyline. The villagers of Downwarren ask Geralt to deal with a spirit haunting the Whispering Hillock. At first it seems like a simple monster hunt, but things quickly spiral into a bit of a pickle. The spirit was trapped in the form of a tree and claimed to once be a druid protecting the area, but was betrayed and bound by dark forces. It begs Geralt for release, promising to save the children held by the crones in Crookback Bog. However, if Geralt really agrees, the spirit will just instead wreak havoc, slaughtering the villagers in its vengeful rage. Conversely, if Geralt kills the spirit, he effectively dooms the children, handing them over to the crones. There's no clean solution. Either way, innocent lives are lost. The lingering question of whether you made the right choice always gnaws at you long after the quest is gone, and is just another great example of how The Witcher 3 plays with your mind and just makes you and coerces you into making these decisions that ultimately affect how you feel. So this isn't a quest about any sort of murderous activities or having someone killed. This is the Last Wish. This is the romantic subplot between Geralt and Yennefer and is one of the game's most emotional cores. And the Last Wish quest itself is one of the most pivotal moments in Yennefer and Geralt's story. To be honest, I don't know why any of you guys would want to even play this quest unless it's just to straight up reject Yennefer, because we all know that Triss is the best, but we'll save that for another discussion. This quest is a bittersweet journey that forces both of the characters to confront their feelings and the nature of their relationship. Geralt and Yennefer search for a lost djinn, the same kind of magical being that bound them together in the first place. Now at the end of this quest, Yennefer asks Geralt to use the djinn to break the spell that made them fall in love, wanting to know if their connection is actually genuine. The revelation is heartbreaking, whether you choose to affirm your love for her or walk away. The moment is filled with vulnerability and pain, and is a rare instance where Geralt, often stoic and guarded, shows his emotions to someone. Now, there is no right choice in this quest. However, if it was me personally, like I said, I would be rejecting Yennefer in this instance, but don't cancel me for an opinion. So on to the next quest, and it might be a familiar one to all of you who like killing witchers. Where the cat and wolf play. This quest, found in the Blood and Wine expansion, introduces Geralt to the village of Outta, where the air is thick full of death. It's not long before Geralt discovers the horrifying truth. Almost everyone in the village had been brutally slaughtered, including women and children. As Geralt encounters the sole survivor of the massacre, a young girl named Millie, her tearful, heart-wrenching account of the slaughter paints a grim picture. This quest introduced a rogue witcher from the Cat School who is responsible for massacring an entire village. Now, when this terrible witcher is confronted by Geralt, he learns that the slaughter was a response to a betrayal. The villagers refused to pay him after he completed his contract and try to ambush him instead. From Geralt's perspective, it is a super interesting scenario, as we do know what he did in Blaviken. Sometimes heads just roll. This quest forces player to consider his perspective. As a fellow witcher, Geralt can understand the loneliness and mistrust that comes with the profession. After all, he was literally killed with a pitchfork before. It's a tragic confrontation where you can either choose to kill him or spare. Now, in my honest opinion, I believe Geralt has an understanding of this kind of temper that witches have, especially when they're being screwed over by folk of the village. I personally think sparing him isn't the worst thing you could do in the world, considering he understands where he's coming from. However, I'm not going to cancel you if you decide to kill him either, because he does have some pretty cool stuff on him. Now we're going to go on to the Tower Out of Nowheres. At first glance, the Tower Out of Nowheres seems to be like one of The Witcher 3's many quirky side quests. Geralt is summoned by terrified villagers to investigate a massive, otherworldly tower that is suddenly materialized in the middle of their land. What starts as a mystery shrouded in humor and absurdity soon evolves into a surprisingly strange story. Upon entering the tower, Geralt is met by a golem, a creature designed to serve and protect its creator. The golem is not an enemy, but a tragic remnant of the mage's failed experiment who was inside the tower. As Geralt delves deeper into the tower, he finds the old mage's journal, which tells the story of a brilliant but deeply lonely man. He lived a life of isolation, pouring all of his energy into his studies in hopes of escaping the solitude that had haunted him. Sounds a lot like a buddy of mine, Gif Gaff Gavin. The mage's final experiment was a bold attempt to transport himself into another realm. It was a desperate gamble to find meaning and companionship, but tragically went horribly wrong. This experiment led to his death, and leaving the tower stranded in another dimension before it abruptly reappeared into this world. The tower's appearance was not only an anomaly, but a testament to the mage's failure and isolation. The quest becomes quite heartbreaking as Geralt uncovers the mage's story piece by piece. His brilliance couldn't save him from his own loneliness, and his desperate bid for escape only ended in his own ruin. The sense of loss is amplified by the eerie stillness of the tower, which just stands as a lonely monument to its creator's shattered dreams. At the end of it, the Tower Out of Nowheres serves as a haunting reminder that even in a world of magic and wonder, the human condition remains the same, filled with longing, loneliness, and the search for connection. Sounds like Gif Gaff Gavin. Now, it would be a crime if this quest did not make this video. In the Hearts of Stone expansion, Olgierd von Everec's story is filled with pain, regret, and love lost. While much of his tale focuses on the dark bargains he made and the curse of immortality that left him hollow, A Midnight Clear offers a rare moment of tenderness in an otherwise somber narrative. The quest centers around Iris, Olgierd's wife, and their tragic love story. While fulfilling one of Olgierd's wishes, Geralt helps him recreate a romantic evening for Iris, a gesture that is equal parts bittersweet and heart-wrenching. Iris loved Olgierd deeply, but his transformation into a cursed, emotionless being drove an irreparable wedge between them. As the years passed, her love for him turned to sadness, and her life became a shadow of what it once was. This quest allows players to witness Olgierd's vulnerability as he drops his hardened exterior and reveals the man he used to be. What makes this quest so heartbreaking is the unspoken truth that no matter how grand the gesture, it cannot undo years of pain and neglect that Iris endured. The romantic evening Geralt helps prepare is not a resolution, but a fleeting moment of beauty in a sea of regret. Now this can be continued with the next quest, the fate of Iris von Everec. Continuing with Olgierd and Iris' love story, scenes from a marriage reveal the full extent of Iris' heartbreak. The quest sees Geralt enter a surreal, haunting painting that represents Iris' memories. As Geralt explores his dreamlike realm, he encounters manifestations of Iris's pain and sorrow. Iris was a woman who gave everything for love, only to watch her husband become someone unrecognisable. Olgierd's pact with Gaunther O'Dim, who by the way is the most powerful character in the Witcher universe that we have ever seen, stripped him of his humanity, leaving Iris trapped in a marriage to a man who could no longer feel. The sadness of her story is amplified by the fact that she remained loyal to Olgierd, even as her own spirit withered away. At the climax of the quest, Geralt must decide whether to free Iris' soul, allowing her to find peace, or leave her trapped in the liminal space between life and death. Either choice is devastating. If Geralt does free her, it is a bittersweet end to a life filled with pain. If he leaves her, it's a reminder that not every tragedy can be undone, and some souls remain bound to their suffering. This quest is not just about Iris' story, but also about the price of love and the consequences of decisions made in desperation. It leaves players reflecting on the nature of sacrifice and the fragility of human relationships. This definitely makes it one of the most emotionally powerful moments in The Witcher 3, and it's just something that leaves a stamp on you. That'll be all for today's video anyway. Hopefully you did enjoy that video, and maybe if you haven't played the game for a while, it's just giving you some reminders of some of the brilliant quests that you've played in the past. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to hit a like, comment and subscribe if you want to stay around for more Witcher videos in the future. As well as that, there will be more content coming up, but right now I'm kind of on a Witcher roll, so I'm just going to keep videos like this coming. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day and happy 2025.